All right, who can tell me, based off this picture, what do we know about the Incas? Yes. Okay, so their cities could have been secluded.
How do you even get it?
I'm confused if that is small or big. It looks small, but it kind of looks like...
It's not. It wasn't a major city, but it was a town. Okay.
Shh.
Yes.
It looks like they used a terrace.
Okay, they used terraces. What do you think they used them for? I'll explain. Shh. What do you think they used the terraces for?
Farming.
For farming. The terraces.
Wait,
Terrace.
that's a circle thing?
Yeah, where I circled. These are. That's what a terrace is. Shh. I cannot keep shushing in between everything I say. If you have something you want to share, please raise your hand. All right. So these different looking things were used for farming. Okay. What else? Where were their cities located?
Mountains.
Yes.
They're in the mountains.
In the mountains, the Andes Mountains, to be more specific. What else? What might they be good at if this is where their cities are?
Hiking.
Yes.
Building stuff.
Okay, they have to be really excellent builders because they have to build in a different environment. What else would they be good at?
Hiking.
Hiking or climbing. Okay, because they had to climb all the way up the mountain to get to the civilizations. Good, or to the cities. Yes. Yes.
I don't really get it. How do they build on that?
Exactly.
See, that's the amazing mystery of the Incas. How are they good at? Well, they were pretty smart people. They adapted to their environment. They dug out the size of mountains. They adapted and overcame. No, they had tools. They didn't have cranes or backhoes or anything like that.
Took like a rock and took out other rocks.
Lots of people. They used lots of people.
It must take it forever.
Yeah, it was a lot of work.
And it was all like pretty much handmade.
Yeah, yeah, it was. Anything else anybody wants to add that they learned from the picture? Yeah.
How do they get water? Because they don't know.
Okay, so that's a very good question that we're going to address later in the presentation. Yeah.
Like for this thing, like you see how like most of the mountain that grows is that just part of the mountain? Some parts of the mountain are a little flatter, like wider on top.
So the Andes Mountains, the whole range is they're a little bit steeper, flatter, more jagged, kind of in that shape that you're looking at.
Well, why is it looks like this part where they build on is flat, but all the rest of it that grows.
Yeah, well, they found the flattest part to build it. They're not going to build it on this part.
This is their whole civilization.
Why would they build it up here? Look how pointy it is. They found this nice big flat area and said, right there. All right.
Wait, is that still there?
Yeah. This is a modern picture. You go see it today. It's called Machu Picchu.
Oh, yeah.
It's called Machu Picchu. Shh. Thank you. All right. So listen, you didn't have any section on your notes to take on geography, but I think it's important just to understand where it is. I don't think you need to write this as notes. You just need to kind of understand where it was. Okay, so the Inca Empire, first and foremost, as you could tell by the total size on this map, is much larger than the Mayans or the Aztecs. Way, 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 way bigger. All right, so that's an important thing to understand. Also, it's on the western coast of South America, so it includes countries such as Chile, Peru, Bolivia, and Ecuador. All right, so today, if you travel to any of these countries, one of the main tourist attractions is to go see the Inca ruins. So, and lastly, they were the largest civilization of all the Mesoamerican places. All right, and they lasted from roughly 1200 AD to 1535 AD. All right, now most of you guys probably had this for your social. You're probably starting to notice a trend here that most social structures of old civilizations look just about the same. But, you know, they had priests, they had soldiers, artisans, farmers, blah, 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 blah. But the big important thing to point out here is they did also have slavery. So when they would conquer other civilizations, they would enslave their people. All right, so that is like a big change that you might see. Some civilizations do have slavery, some don't. All right, one interesting thing that they did do was something called the Mita, which required all able-bodied people to help with government construction projects. What does it mean by able-body? What does able-body mean? Yes?
Like, able
Okay, able to do what?
Nope.
Yeah, like young, pretty. I would think.
Okay, to work, to be young, yeah.
Basically, like you're capable of being, like, you have all your body parts.
No, but that's okay. You're good, yeah. But that's a good point though. If you
Capable of working.
okay, good. So you can work. We're talking about people who aren't little kids, people who aren't the elderly, people who didn't break their leg trying to climb up the mountain last week and fell and broke their leg. All right, things like that. All right, now this is interesting. Okay, Adam, like you had asked, how would they build what they built? Okay, how is that even possible? Well, by doing things like this, by requiring the entire population of a city to work on a big project, by working together to create their empire and their living space. All right, some of their some of their settlement patterns, so their major cities. This is something that would also go under S in social for spice. Cusco is their capital city. Now, this is what you can visit today. This is part of the ruins. How would you guys compare these gigantic rocks that you see in the picture to the size of human beings?
A little bit smaller.
Okay, they're much bigger than the human beings, right? Does anybody know what mortar is? Like if you're laying bricks, what's mortar? Yes, JT.
It's that little like gray stuff you put. It's almost like glue, kind of, just stick it on.
Okay, very good. It's like glue. All right, these rocks here don't have any mortar.
They just like.
So they fit them together like puzzle pieces. Now, going back to the original question, I said they're much larger than humans. So how did they move those? That is one of the mysteries of the Inca civilization. This is where you get those ancient aliens people going, the aliens helped them. But really, no one knows. Yes?
Is it like the Great Pyramids of Giza? It's like each brick is gigantic. Each brick is gigantic, and the fact that they put so many together so perfectly is a mystery.
Yeah, it's very similar to that. And what's more amazing than this, than the pyramids, so the pyramids, the rocks were all perfect cubes, right? These are all different shapes, and they were able to fit them together like a puzzle. Yes?
I think the dragons helped them with them.
The dragons.
Yes, yes, because
How
you know,
else would you get that?
because dragons, they probably enslaved dragons, and they had them like on chains.
Dragons.
And then they had the dragons breathe fire, and that's how the rocks came together.
So kind of like a Shrek themed thing, where the dragons in chains. JT, yes? What's up?
So, do you think they just found a whole bunch of rocks and put them together? Do you think they carved like some of them off?
They did have to carve and shape many of them, no doubt. Yes.
If those weigh like hundreds.
Thousands of pounds.
Exactly. Like, yeah, that would, like, how, it's not possible.
Dragon.
So
You see,
here's one thing you can do.
the dragon.
I know there's like the lever thing, like you put one under, like it's sitting under the other side of the rock and like tip it up.
So, well, for transporting them, right? I'm gonna draw you a little picture. Now you're lucky because I don't draw a lot of pictures, and when I draw pictures, they're normally really, really good in detail. So, here's what you can do. Okay, I'm gonna draw all these circles.
I like your circles.
Now imagine that the circles that I drew are logs, big trees. Okay, you put the big rock on top of these circles and you roll it, and as you keep rolling it, you move the logs further up. So once it gets past this point, you'd move this log around. Once it gets past this point, you'd move this log to the front.
Seems like a waste of
Okay,
time.
but what if you had to go up though?
Okay, but how did you
You'd-
get the rock
Just
on
gonna
the log?
crash.
How did you get the
But that
rock
was up a
on the
mountain. They
log?
had to go.
Yeah, they're going up a mountain.
So how did they get the rock on the log? If it's that heavy?
Huh?
How did they get the rock on the log? If it's that heavy?
You put the logs
So
under the
yeah,
rock.
you put the logs under where
How
where it's going to be cut from the mountain. You know what I'm saying? So they lands on top of it.
But how did it not crack the log?
They
Because
cut
that thing is
lasers.
those are like 15,000-pound rocks.
You know, look, sometimes it did break the logs and they had to get new
That
logs.
whole process would take like 1 billion years.
So look, yeah, people would have died, and it would take a long time, but that's one simple way. What? Yeah. All right, quiet, please. So listen, as you can tell, it wasn't easy, and no one knows exactly for sure, but this is one common thing that people fall back on. All right, here's another major city. It was Machu Picchu. This was discovered in the 20th century, and this was the picture you saw at the beginning of class. Here's an image of what it may have looked like when it was all completed. So you can see it's not perfectly lined up from the same angle, but...
I want to just replace it.
What?
Should just replace it.
Yeah,
Yeah, but then you're messing with ancient ruins.
I mean, they do that.
Their political system, so this would be under the P. If you guys already have this, that's great. It was an authoritarian government where the emperor had total power over all of its citizens. And in a lot of ways, it was a theocracy because they looked at the emperor as someone who was a descendant of the sun god, Inti. So the emperor was also a god. All right, and then their capital city was Cusco, Peru, which I already kind of explained to you. But essentially, that's how their government was set up. They had one person who had total authority over everything. Pretty straightforward. Once again, we're going to be looking at the ancient civilizations from all across the world. You'll see a very big trend here that most of them are going to be authoritarian.